afternoon. My name is Chayanit Dulyakasem, and I will be your host for today. Before the ceremony begins, I would like to inform you of today's program. Just before I start, we have provided you a short video presentation on ITD. After this announcement, Assistant Professor Dr. Charit Tingsabadh, Committee of Chula Global Network, CGN, will deliver a welcoming remark, followed by our Executive Director. Then Dr. Watcharas Leelawath, our Deputy Executive Director, will introduce our today's speakers. May I now invite Assistant Professor Dr. Charit Tingsabadh to deliver a welcoming remarks, please.
Richard Jolly, Professor Louis Emmerich, Dr. Norman, the Director of ITD, honored participants. I'm very delighted to be here this afternoon to welcome you on behalf of the Chula Global Network, which is a network that the university has created to provide a platform for such discussions and exchanges like what we are going to experience today. These days, globalization hits everybody, and if university is not accepted, and we should be in a position to lead society in this very valuable exchanges of ideas, of information. And today, we are very happy that we have had, through the good offices of ESCAP, the opportunity to welcome, I know that Sarish Jolly reminds me of long time past when I was a student of economics and pouring through textbooks on the development economics of long time ago. So I'm sure we are going to hear a lot of rich harvest from experience over many years. And well, nothing more to say except that on behalf of Chula Global Network, we are very happy, and I would like to thank ITD for hosting the event at very short notice. So welcome everybody, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Assistant Professor Dr. Charit Tingsabadh. And next, may I ask the Executive Director of ITD to the podium for the welcoming remarks, please.
Good afternoon, Dr. Surakiat Sasirathai, former Deputy Prime Minister of Thailand and also former Minister of Foreign Affairs. Dr. Somboon Singyambut, former Thai Ambassador to Korea. Sir Richard Hawley, Professor Louis Emmerich, Mr. Roger Norman, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the ITD, I'd like to extend our warmest welcome to all of you to ITD and to the seminar on UN ideas that changed the world. Really, really important session, which is jointly organized by ITD and Chula Global Network. ITD is a public organization established under agreement between the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, or UNCTAD, and the Royal Thai government. It's almost a decade ago. To keep track and collect information to analyze the relationship between trade and development. Our task is to help training and create activities for capacity building for people and organizations in the country, in Asia, and beyond. I'm totally new to the job, since I've just assumed this executive directorship for a little over than a month. But besides having been Minister for Tourism, I've been the first Vice Minister for Social Development and Human Security. And that is why today we are honored by Sir Richard Hawley and Professor Louis Emmerich, the co-directors of the United Nations Intellectual History Projects, who are kindly giving a special talk about UN ideas that change the world. Also, we are honored by Mr. Roger Norman, Director of Asia Pacific Program of International Commission of Jurists, who would contribute on the topic of human rights and new ideas. As we all know, UN ideas have significantly set past, present, and future of global socio-economic agendas, and have also led to initiatives and actions that impact world citizens for decades. Since 1945, the UN has been playing an eminent role in the international community and contributes ideas and concepts that shape the world. In order to facilitate cooperation in international law, international security, economic development, social progress, and achieving of world peace, responding to the globalization and the changing context that has brought a number of challenges for economics and sustainable development. For example, climate change, fragile states, and inequalities of global development. The UN ideas have been evolving from time to time, and a contemporary example of evolved ideas are human rights for all, environmental sustainability, and of course, the MDGs. I wish this seminar a great success and hopeful that it would adequately provide useful information and generate newer and better understandings about our contemporary international society, especially in terms of socio-economic development in this new and ever-challenging time. May I now ask Dr. Watcharas, our Deputy Director, to introduce our speakers for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Executive Director. I'm very delighted to be here today to introduce all of our distinguished speakers. The program will change a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the presentation on the UN ideas to change the world first, and then we have 15 minutes for the question and answer, and then we start with the human rights issues later, and after that we have a question and answer. Now let me introduce our distinguished speakers. The first speaker is the Honorable Professor and Research Associate of the Institute of Development Study at the University of Sussex. He is the trustee of Oxfam, Director of Overseas Development Institute, Chairman of the UN Association of United Kingdom. He was an Assistant Secretary General of the UN, and he was holding senior position in the UNICEF and UNDP for nearly 20 years. His publication, just to name a few,